I just pushed record, so we're doing this Flosstube. This is Flosstube number 1 for me. Hi, I'm Tammy. I wanted to start this channel because I've been kind of encouraged to do it. So I have several friends that feel like I have something to bring to the community. So I'm going to dive right in. I'm going to do it. I am not a shy person. So I really don't know what has kept me from hitting the record button up until this point. But let me give you a little bit of history about me, or introduce myself. I'm Tammy. Over on Instagram, you will find me at Leopard and Lace Co. XOXO. And previously, that was just changed. So previously, I was Leopard and Lace Boutique 2020. And so maybe you've seen some of my things over there. But if you haven't, you can find me at Leopard and Lace Co. XOXO. And I have been in association with the Flosstube and cross stitch community for about 2 years now. So a little bit of history is, and how I even come to know anything about cross stitch was my sister, the Crafty Heifer, and I were hosting a craft retreat. And so in 2020, that was her dream. Really in 2019 is when she started making the plan that she was going to host a retreat. And so I do what big sisters do. And I just jumped in and started helping her. And I'd done it up until last year. I made the decision last year to step out. So my life was taking me a different direction, and I just felt like it was best for me. So at the retreat, the last year I'd done it, we had a cross stitch session where you could take a class and you could learn the basics of cross stitch. I had already learned the basics, I feel like. So I did walk away with more information than I had going into that class. So Kim, she's known over on Instagram as the Snitch Stitcher. That's a mouthful. And she taught that class, as well as several other experienced stitchers. So Debbie, she's the bag lady. I don't know if any of you are familiar with her. Probably some of you are, because she goes to a ton of retreats and sells her bags. So anyways, we really were I was showing an interest in it. The funny thing about it is, back in 2020, I told my sister, I am not cross stitching because of fear of missing out. I'm just not doing it. Like, I'm going to embroidery because I'm going to be different. And so I started doing a little bit of embroidery, and I love that. I love it because I'm creative. I love color palettes, and I love just the artistic freedom that comes with embroidery. Well, then I realized, oh, well, you can color convert these patterns. What? You can make it what you like. Oh, I might be interested in this. So I done my first project, and I actually forgot to bring it over here, so I'll bring it another time. It was a mess, y'all. So I didn't know at that point there are over-dyed flosses. And so when I finished the whole project. I done paper layering on the piece. It was gorgeous. I loved it. Well, when I went to iron it out, because I stitch in a hoop, it bled. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I called my sister. I'm like, hey, what just happened? And she's like, yeah, Tammy, so you can't do that. She's like, there are some flosses that will, they will bleed if you do that. So that was my first stitched piece. Now, I did keep it. I kept it, number 1, because that's my first stitched piece. Number 2, it's good for me because I have a tendency to be a little OCD. And what that does to me is tell me, Tammy, embrace the imperfections. And so this craft is very humbling to me. I told y'all, I frog a lot. So I really love everything about stitching And as I'm in a very big transition period in my life right now, my all of my kids are gone now. They are not just gone from home, but they have all left our hometown. And so I am at a very different season in my life. And I have found that not just stitching in general, but the cross stitch community and the friendships that I've made through different retreats and everything, that's what's keeping me company right now. And so we have a couple of Zooms that I am part of. And as I move forward in this unfamiliar territory, I have learned that it's good for me to have something in my hands to keep my hands busy. And as I am working on things, I pray for my babies. You know, I pray that they will just continue to do what they're doing and be successful in life. So enough about me and me introducing myself. I want to show y'all a few of the things that I have done. I think all of these are completions from this year. So I'm not going to go in any particular order. I have a little pile of things here on my little stitchy cart. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reach over and I am going to grab things and I'm going to look at notes, because there's absolutely no way my memory can and will remember all of the designers and all of the things. So to note, I stitch on 22 count heart anchor. I love it. I want to stitch on linen, on even weave, on all the things, but my brain doesn't work that way. And so what I learned, as I said, is very humbling. Stay in your lane and do what you can do and do what makes you happy. For some people, it's Aida. And I have stitched on, I think this is an 18 count Aida. And so I like Aida. There's no, I have no problems with it. And so I've learned from my brain and the way my brain works that it's just best for me not to, or for now, let me just say for now, I'm not going to stitch anything but heart anchor and Aida, and I'm okay with that. All the linen stitchers, all the even weave stitchers, like, oh, gorgeous. Like, y'all blow me away. Like, y'all get up in the 56 and I'm like, woo, girl, like, I love it. It's beautiful. And I just love your creativity, but I'm gonna stay over here in my lane. So, all of these are different designers. I don't think I have any that are the same designer. And so I have a friend, you'll hear me talk about her. Her name's Kim. And she's one of my stitchy besties. And Kim is the snitch stitcher. And so we just came back from Annie's first retreat that she's hosted. She is Dirty Annie's. And I know so many of you have stitched her patterns and given her love. And she is amazing. If you know Annie, you love Annie. And so we just came back from that retreat. I think it's been 3 weekends ago now. And while we were there, I had done a swap. I'll show it to you in just a minute. And her, Kim, and another friend of mine made the decision that I need to do their finishing. So I will be doing some of their pieces and finishing some of their pieces. So that's part of what I'm going to bring to Flosstube is my style, the different things that I do. I like pretty things and I like making pretty things. And so one of the first things I started doing is making scissor fobs. I love beads and I love pretty things and I love everything to match. And I've learned I can't keep up with the bags in all my projects, but I do love everything to match. And so I want to show how I do them. I don't do them how other people do them. And I embrace being different. I embrace my own style. And so if I can bring something to the community that you may enjoy, I want to do that. And so I want to share the way I do things. And I know that there are so many different designers and creators and Flosstube channels that you'll glean from the channels that you glean from. You find your tribe and your people. And so my goal is just to bring my creativity to the community, and maybe I can inspire somebody to do something they may have never done before. And so with that being said, I'm going to show you, I'm just going to start with this one because I grabbed it first. And so this is Stitcher's Gonna Stitch. And it is, I know y'all are probably already saying who it is. Oh, the blue flower. So I did color convert because I do that. And so I don't, my intent is to never offend a designer. And when I do a color conversion, I will always, or at least try to do my best to always mention it, because, you know, when they design a pattern, they have something in mind and they bring that to the table. And as creatives, a lot of the time what we do is we make it our own. And I think that's okay. But I do think out of respect and honor for the designers, we need to say, hey, by the way, this is my own color conversion, or this is what I did different to the pattern. I like to stitch tomatoes, and so a lot of times if there's not a tomato, I'm going to add a tomato because that's me. And so that being said, this is a color conversion. This is my own color conversion. I wear dresses and I wear skirts, and so this is me. So I did a blend for her hair, and I'm gonna see if I can get it. Yes, there we go. So I did a blend for her hair, and I did it because, look, I have glitter strands in my hair. So when I was barely 25, I started turning gray, and it bothered me so bad because I was young. And my son told me, Mama, those are glitter strands because you're fabulous. So I embrace my glitter strands. I love them. They make me happy. But anyway, so this is, let me see. This is my stitched piece, and it is color converted. I want to say those are all DMC threads. I love this. It brings me joy and it makes me happy. And I actually think that was a free chart that I found somewhere along the way, probably off of Facebook, or somebody sent it to me. The next thing that I'm going to show is this. This was my husband's Valentine's gift this year. And it is from Twin Peak no, just kidding. Asbury Echoes. I'm already getting confused. I loved this. This is me. Like, I just love everything about it. And so I just chose to finish it in a little hoop this time. So, and then on the back, I used a wool felt and just wrote "with love," my name and the year, and then added a little charm. So he has, on his side of the bed, he has this little, key holder to keep everything organized. And so I just hung this up there for him, and he enjoyed it and loved it. And so it just says, "Please be mine, sweet Valentine." And so I gifted him that and some other stuff. Okay, this one is Twin Peak Primitive. So at Annie's retreat, she done something that I had never heard anybody do, and I thought it was brilliant. She done what was called a twin swap. And so for those of us that go to retreats and we swap, you can spend a lot of time on a project and then gift it away. And sometimes while you're stitching it, you figure out, oh my goodness, I love this. I don't want to give this away. Well, in her swap, in this twin swap, what you done was you stitched the piece that you wanted to gift, but you kept yours, but then you kitted up another one for your recipient, which I thought was brilliant. So originally I purchased this pattern with the thought that that's what I was going to do, but then I got my heart set on something else and I did that project. But this one was already done. So this is Twin Peak Primitives, and it was actually, this is only part of the project. It was, there's two girls and like a little pillar with a flower pot. It's really cute. So it's on Etsy, and it is a PDF pattern. So this is my stitched piece. Let me see. This is my stitched piece. and how I finished it. Got a little bow and some where I shredded the fabric, and then some little pins that I made. So this is the back. This is how I finished the back. But I love this. I had never done this, as in framing it out with fabric. I had never done that until this piece, and actually it's glitter. It's a really pretty piece of fabric. I don't think it does it justice when I just hold it back here. But it is glitter fabric, and I loved it. But then I just decided, what happened was I found a stitchy box at Marshall's, and I was like, oh, I need to do that. And so I had just finished stitching bobbin. I'm gonna go ahead and show you this. I had just finished stitching bobbin, and I wanted to finish it, but I was afraid, after all that stitching, I was afraid to cut it down and mess it up. So I kept thinking, like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna finish that? And just trying to finish it and make a decision. When I seen this, I was like, I know what I'm gonna do. And so this is my stitchy block box. It's just a black velvet box. I think it was $12.99 at Marshall's. And this is my project. And so it all fits in here. And then this is my scissors. Let me see if I can do it like this. This is my scissors and the charm and my holder that sit right beside my stitchy box. And so I'm gonna sit this down. I'll show you, I'll try to get up close again in just a second, but let me sit it down in my lap. I'm gonna show you my stitched piece. Y'all, when I seen this pattern at Market, I was like, I have to have that right now. I mean, it immediately went in my cart. I fell in love with it, everything about it. So like I said, I did stitch on a 22 count hardanger. I did a color conversion. If you're interested in that color conversion, I have it listed over on Etsy. Nope, excuse me, on Instagram. I just have a little button and a little bow button and a pink button on it. And then this is the way I finished the back. I love it. I love everything about it. That is bobbin, and I just done this pillow finish. And then I done the berry basket as well, and it looks like this. And then the back looks like this. So I just done a really, my camera's not wanting to focus. I done a really tight gathering after I ripped the fabric. This fabric was fabulous. I bought it at Hobby Lobby. But I love everything about this. So it sits in this box like this. Let me see if I can lift it back up. So these are my snag nabbits and my 28 count needles. But before I show you those, I was gonna show you the little berries, because I done berries because of the berries on bobbin. I done, oh my word, let me see if I can move. I done berries as a pin cushion. So in this pin cushion, and the reason I have a pin cushion when I stitch is because I like to load my needles. Probably learned that from doing embroidery. If I don't have a lot of similar colors, I'll load several needles so that I can just stitch really fast, and I'm not bothered by waiting and everything. These little things right here, they're just decorations. This is just a teeny tiny little hoop. And then in here, this little section, I just have, I may have to use my big camera the next time I film. And then I done finishing pins. So for the recipient, I cut all of these pieces out. I gave them the wool felt balls. I cut everything out so that they could go in and make this same project. As far as the pins, the counting pins, the finishing pins, theirs look just like this. And so y'all see my little mascara thing. I do that because when I floss, I need to get all the little fuzzies off. Okay, so in this same box, I done my 28 count needles, and I stamp, like metal stamp, and so I just stamped 28 count. I don't know if that's focusing. I feel like it's not focusing. I'll use my big camera next time. And then on this one, that's what it looks like. I just like charms. I like charms and I like pretties, and I think I have to do them like this every time. And then there's a teeny tiny one back there. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's got a teeny tiny little stamped heart, and I loved that. And then in this, I also done this one. It's just a wire wrapped bead, and it's full of tiny buttons. And so that's my stitchy box. And so that was my my recipient received that same gift for them to do, and I did put the pattern for bobbin in there, and I loved doing that. And so while we're on the Animal Crackers series, I'm obsessed with those, y'all. Stacy Nash is a brilliant designer, as if all of y'all don't know that, but my heart needs quick finishes. Like, I am not a process stitcher. I know many of y'all are process stitchers. I'm not. I am a project stitcher. The moment I finish it, I am ready to finish it. I know how I'm going to finish it. I've usually got trims, buttons. I've got all the things already waiting on me for when I finish the project. And so this one is Maggie Mate. I just literally just finished stitching her. And I am making her for a friend of mine, and she is a crocheter. So we are swapping crafts. She is crocheting me a coral throw for my living room to match in here, because I have a coral wall, like a feature wall, these pinky beige walls and all that. So anyways, she's making me a throw. I'm making her this scissor keep, and so I literally just finished stitching her. That being said, this is a DMC conversion, and then for the polka dots on Maggie May's dress, I'm gonna see if I can do it like this. I was at the retreat, and I did not want to be bothered with counting, so I just done random spots and filled it in with color and cotton floss. And so if you want the DMC, no, it's not a DMC conversion. Yes, it is. Sorry, I've done so many different ones. This is a DMC conversion. If you want it, I have it over on Instagram. It's already there. If you have a question, feel free to reach out to me. But I am going to finish it, this really pretty mustard rose fabric. I got it at a thrift shop. It was a huge piece I got for like $1. And so I felt like it goes perfect with this piece. I can't wait to finish it. So that's on my to-do list. I was supposed to do it before last weekend, and it just didn't get done. And life happens like that. Okay, so the next thing I want to show, well, let me show this really quick, closer. So I told you I want everything to match. So this is my scissor fob for my stitchy box. And these are the kind of scissor fobs that I make. I have big, huge, chunky ones, all different ones. And so these are the style that I'm going to show you how to make wire wrapping beads. And some of you may not be interested, and that's okay. If you want to sit and stitch and watch, great. And if you don't, that's okay. It doesn't offend me. Okay, the next thing is I done a Valentine series, and I purchased the pattern from Needle Case Goodies, and it is an Emily Call pattern. So on this Emily Call pattern, each one of these girls are on one pillow. It's a really cute little tiny pillow finish, but I decided I wanted to stitch my stitchy friends. So the ones that I stitch with, some of them are in the DFW area. Most of my stitchy friends are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if I didn't say, I don't think I did, I'm from West Texas. A lot of my stitchy girls are up in the DFW area, and I travel about 4.5 hours to see them because, I mean, they're my stitchy girls. So, but each one of these are somebody. So I'll start with mine. This one, let me see if I can get it to focus. This is me. I love her. And for those of you, I hot glue and it comes loose. I should just stitch. Yes, I should stitch it down. This is how I finish the back. They usually sit in a bowl. So I think because I just pulled on that, it pulled it up. It usually doesn't come up, but I don't mind fixing it if it does. This is my sister, the Crafty Heifer. So this is a pillow I made for her. And I wanted to keep them a little bit cohesive. And so on the back, I finished the back, most of the backs of them about the same. It's just a little heart, sorry. And then I done sequin trim on hers. This is my stitchy bestie, Kim. I still have several that I need to make. And then this is the back of this one. So Kim has a Zoom that I like to get on, and we sit and stitch and visit. And then this is another friend of mine, and her name is Melissa. She goes on that same Zoom. And then I just done like torn fabric. Sorry, y'all. Maybe this phone is not the way to go. I'll use my big camera the next time I film. But if that doesn't bother you, I'm sorry. If it does, I'm sorry. If it doesn't, good. You're probably my kind of people. And then in my local area, I have a friend, my only stitchy friend in my city. Her name is Shemaine, and she has the most fabulous curly hair. My hair, I have a lot of hair, but it's so straight. So I embroidered some little curly hair, and I love the way hers turned out. And that's how I finished the back of it. So these were all Valentine finishes this year. I still have several that I want to get done this next year. I'm just going to keep adding to it because, you know, we collect people in the stitchy community. Okay, and I have two more things. This one, this was the first time I ever stitched in silks. Oof. That was a free chart that I found off of a de-stash table at one of the retreats. And so it's not perfect, so don't look too close. But I really did enjoy stitching with silks. This is a teeny tiny little alphabet. It probably would have took other people no time. It took me a long time because I had to frog. Okay, this is my favorite project to date that I have done. It has a lot of meaning to it. So I'm going to show it to you. I kind of didn't fix it the last time. Remember I told you I've already filmed this Flosstube once and I filmed it the wrong direction. So I had to do landscape instead of up and down. So anyways, this was a pattern gifted to me by Kim. And I know so many of you have already stitched these, but I told you I love tomato stitching. And so the year before last, this year, I finished it. I think I had 1 week to my birthday before I got it completely finished. So it took me an entire year. I am not a fast stitcher. I do think this one is my favorite. Let's see if I can get it to focus. She is tiny. She is beautiful. She is fabulous. I love everything about her. And this is the way I finished the back. I think this one is my favorite. And I did just tea and coffee dye this fabric. It's a 22 count. heart anger. And then here is this one. Apparently my needle came, or my pin came loose, so I'm gonna do that. Okay, this is the second one. Oh my word. And then I just done this little tomato in a hoop. And then the back is finished like this. And then this one, y'all, oh Lord have mercy. I cannot even tell you how many times I had to frog this bird. I could not count. So in the end, I ended up doing a thread blend. And I love the way it turned out in the end. But I did fudge it at some point. I'm not really sure, but I love it as well. It taught me a lot of patience. And so that's what I love about this craft. I told y'all it's very humbling. Let me see. The blend is lovely. It turned out beautiful, but man, I learned a lot of lessons. Okay, and then this one is actually done right. The other one, I'm one row off, so I had to re-stitch it. It didn't bother me. Like I told y'all, I've been humbled by these projects. So it's so tiny, and it fits in here. I just done those polymer clay little tiny tomatoes. This is the one I'm one off right here, you can see, and I still love it. I done it. I tuck it in there and nobody knows. Not one person has pointed it out that I'm off. So on this one it says, y'all don't come at me, my soul is fed by Jesus. And this one just says needle and thread. But this is the most special in this whole project to me, because one of my best friends was 80 years old and she passed away not last year but the year before. And so her daughter gifted me some buttons out of her button box. And then one of my other best friends that lives here in my current town is 77, and I have buttons from her button box. And then the buttons that I contributed are these hearts, because a heart is my signature, and then these three which symbolize us. And so this pillow means so much to me because it reminds me of the times that we spent doing Bible studies together and the lessons that I learned from some of the most amazing women I have had the opportunity to sit at their feet. And then I told you I do other crafts, and so this is just a polymer clay tomato that goes in that bowl. And so that's all I have today. And so thank you for allowing me to introduce myself. I hope that I make more stitchy friends. If you like my style or my I guess it would be my style, my stitchy style. I don't know what you call it, but I would love to have you follow me on Instagram, follow me, subscribe, like, do all the things here on YouTube. And my goal is to upload once a week. It may be every 2 weeks. I'm really not sure at this point. I know that you should have a schedule. You should already know what you're supposed to do or what you're planning on doing. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I'm not a fast stitcher. Oh, speaking of, almost forgot. My friend Kim and I are hosting a Sal. I didn't plan on starting YouTube until last week. And so I've planned on it. I haven't uploaded it. I haven't recorded. Let me be impeccable with my word. So I've always wanted to do it. I've just been a chicken and let all the voices in my head hinder me from doing it. So here we are. I'm doing it. Kim and I are doing a Queen of the Needle Sal. Queen of the Needle is With Thy Needle and Thread by Brenda Gervais. And Kim gifted me that pattern. And so we are stitching that together. It is starting tonight, but starting tomorrow evening from 7 to 9 o'clock, we are going to do a Zoom call. And so if you would like to join our Zoom call, go over to Instagram and follow one of us, click on the link, and or DM us, and I'll send you a direct link. And we would love to get to know you. We would love to have you join us. So with that being said, I will see you on the next Flosstube, and happy stitching, friends.